Hey Stampers, it's Linda Schmidt with Stampin' with the Hounds. Today I have a fun fold card for you. This one is featuring the Rainbow of Happiness bundle that is available in the 2022 Mini Catalog. So this one uses a clear envelope as our flap, and then it's just your A2 card, but it's cut the long ways, so 4 1/4 by 11, and then it's folded up, and then this flaps down, and then when it's standing, then it has this little easel that holds it up. So it's kind of a fun card to give to somebody. So what you need first is, like I said, so you want to take a full sheet of cardstock, so 8.5 by 11, and I just cut it in half at 4 1/4, and then I scored at 5.5. So then that'll just fold up, and then what you want to do is you're always going to be working as a V. So you're having the crease here, and then this is going to be the front of your card. And then an optional thing that I did, just because it'll help cover up the adhesive from the envelope flap, is I just put some designer series paper, or you can do cardstock if you want to put your sentiment or your greeting or whatever on the back. You can do that for your writing when you give it to somebody. So we're going to first, we're going to decorate this panel. So I have my card. Whoops, the wrong one here. Whoops, what did I just do with it? Okay, hold on. Let me fold this one in half. I just had it, and I don't know what I did with it. The gremlins took it. Okay, so, all right, so we will, again, it's on that 11-inch side, so I am just going to score at 5.5. And then we'll just fold this up. And then what I like to do is, so this is the part that's going to come up. I trim just a little bit off of this bottom piece, because that way it's going to help. And it's just, I don't know, like a 1/16. It's not very much. So if this is 4, that's at 5.5. I'm just going in like 1/8 of an inch and just trimming off about that much. Okay. And that's just going to help as we bring the card up. It'll just help the fold. It'll help it fold and stuff. So then on this piece, I like to take, and you can leave it blank if you want, but I like to take some of the designer series paper. So this is from the Sunshine and Rainbow 6x6 designer series paper that you can get free as a celebration item. So there is a ton of fun paper in here. So I'm just going to take, this kind of looks like clouds a little bit. So I'm going to put this on, and since I trimmed my base here, I'm going to take just a smidge off of this paper as well. And then that way it'll layer a little bit better. So then this is going to go, like I said, where it's a V. So I'm keeping, this is my shorter side. I'm going to put my designer series paper here. Kind of center it. Okay. Then the rainbow, these are from the dies that coordinate with this set. So this piece, it cuts out all the strips at the same time. So what I did is I pre-cut a bunch of them, and I just have them in a little Ziploc baggie so that when I want to make a rainbow, I've got a bunch of dies already cut. So it's kind of what I like to do when I'm watching a movie. I just kind of sit here and die cut a bunch of things. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put adhesive on these and glue them to the paper. And I start with the larger one, the larger rainbow. And we're going to start kind of at the top. And then we'll just glue this down. And then we'll do our next arch. Yeah, lots of pieces on this card. That's why I thought I would help pre-die cut some of these things. And then as you're working through and doing, sorry, before I lose these, I kind of eyeball a little bit so I'm matching up here at the bottom. And then I want to make sure I'm getting towards that edge of my paper too. So before I press down really hard, I just make sure everything is lined up. That looks good. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do the green. This is where it's nice when you're working with a liquid adhesive. You've got a little bit more wiggle room before the glue permanently dries. So again, I'm just going to kind of eyeball, make sure I'm flush at the bottom. And then I'm getting towards the edge of my paper. And then I can go ahead and press down. And then the final one I'm using, so these are, oh no, here we go. It's Magenta Madness, which is one of the new in colors, or an in color that carried over from a couple years ago that's still current until 2022. Mango Melody, Granny Apple Green, these are both from the Brights family. And then Bermuda Bay, which is also from the Brights family. All right, and then same thing here. Okay, so that's all in place. And so then that's going to be, like I said, kind of like your second layer. All right, then the inside, this one, because this is what it's going to be, I used some the fun foam, or not fun foam, but it's the foam sheets that Stampin' Up has. So it's like double adhesive, and it's got the foam. So I die cut the rainbow, and what's nice about this little rainbow, the mini one that's in here, so this one, if you use the Celebration paper, it will die cut all of your rainbow at the same time. So that's kind of, it comes in handy. So I've already pre-die cut this. And then I also ran, I did that same die, then I put it through and did my foam sheets because I wanted a little bit of height. So when you have your card, it's got, this is like a little ledge that helps keep this standing on there. So this one, make sure I'm doing this. We're coming up. Yeah, so the arch. So this is our, we're going to fold this down. And now this rainbow arch is going to go right here. So I've already done most of these, but I was going to show you how I picked this up. So again, this was the foam. And it's got adhesive on both sides. So I'm just going to pick up the layer, now this is sticky, and I can go ahead and place my paper on top of it. Very carefully. And I just make sure that's all lined up. Okay, so all of these other ones, I've already attached the foam to the paper. So those are all done. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove my back piece. And then I will put it about an inch up. And then just make sure each of your arches are somewhat even. And then you'll do the same thing, just remove the sticker. Do your next arch. And we'll do the Granny Apple Green. And if you don't have the foam sheets, all you have to do is die cut your image several times and then layer that behind your paper so you can build up depth. That's another way of doing it too. Okay, so now those are all adhered on there. I don't know where I put that. Okay, now, oh, here it is, before I lose my lid. Okay, so now I've got that part. And then before I start assembling this, because I found when I first did this card, I had already attached my bag. And so it made the stamping a little bit difficult to do. So I'm going to do my stamping before I show you how you attach your bag. So again, now this is my front. We flip it down. Now I'm now going to stamp up here on the top part. So with the stamp set, I found, again, because it's photopolymer, I found it was a little bit easier if you used the Stamparatus. Because sometimes with the newer stamps, they don't ink up very well initially. So I thought it would be a little bit easier to do the Stamparatus. That way, if you have to repeat it, you can position it so that you're not having to worry about not lining it up again. So I have already positioned my stamps on here. So I'm just going to place this on my platform. And I think, actually I wonder if I have to make sure. Is this where I think I want it up a little bit higher? Maybe I did have this down. Maybe I had it down farther. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're going to put it down. Then I've got my magnets just kind of holding the stuff in place. So what I did is I did one arch already on one side, and then I'll flip it over and I've got my other arch positioned, and then on my other sheets I've got one on one side and then I have another on the other side. So I've got them all kind of already on my platforms so that I'm ready to go. So we're going to put that right there, and then we're going to start with the Magenta Madness. So I'm going to ink up the arch with that, and then we will use my handy dandy little stamp tool here. Okay, so that looks pretty good, but like I said, you can re-ink it, and because this is positioned, it'll line up right on top of what you just stamped. So that if you didn't get it all the way inked up, this is a really nice tool. And then that we're done with that color, so I'm just going to give it a quick clean. And the pinks and the oranges and stuff, they do stain the photopolymers, but then they just show that your stamp has been loved. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to move on to my Mango Melody. And we'll ink up this one. Same thing. Okay, this one I think I do need to shift my arch just a little bit. I think it got a little wonky. Oh, it still needs to move over. So let me clean this because it's not quite lined up where I want it. Okay, so then what I do is I just take this off And then I want to make sure, so it's going to be upside down. And this is how I kind of position it so that I can see there. And then we'll pick it up. Okay, now we can re-ink it. Let's see if that'll be better. Oops, we caught on. There we go. And we'll do a little pressure. Okay, and then that's done. Let's wipe that off. And then I'm going to remove this because I have my other ones that have the other arches lined up. So we're going to do the Granny Apple Green. And before I do this, I should make sure, same thing here, these got shifted a little bit from my last card. Okay, so pick that up. Okay, and we'll ink up the Granny Apple Green. I'm just going to do a little bit more on there. Okay, and then the final color is Bermuda Bay. So again, I'm going to flip this. And then I'll make sure this is lined up. Grab it. Ink it. And stamp it. And I'm going to do just a little bit more. Just to make sure that Bermuda Bay is good. Okay, that looks good. Then I have the saying that has the arch. So it says, sending you a rainbow of happiness. I'm going to ink that one up. Let's move this one out of the way. So again, I'm going to place it face down so that I can see what it says, sending you a rainbow of happiness. I'm going to pick it up, and then I will ink it up with some black ink. And then same thing here, press down. And that looks good. Clean it off. You can just use like a baby wipe. I like to use my little Norwex cloth for when I'm doing this. And then that is it for the stamping. So I can take it off of my Stamparatus. Set that aside. Okay. Then, now we're going to get ready for the shaker part. So, you'll need a clear envelope. So these we sell, they got the little adhesive on the flap. They're an A2 size, so 4 1/4 by 5.5. And then I think there's like 50 in a package. You also will need a 1/4 sheet of your window sheet. And I already, I pre-glued some sequins on here because I wanted it when it's closed, you know, all the glitter and stuff sinks to the bottom. So I wanted a few more pieces to like always stay in place. So I just put a little bit of the clear liquid glue and I just glued them on my window sheet. So you're going to take the window sheet and you'll place it inside your envelope. Easier said than done. Here we go. Let's try that again. It's hard to see with the window sheet. Okay, and I think just so you guys can see this a little bit better, maybe I'll put this down so you can Okay, so now this is inside my window sheet. My flap is, the adhesive side is facing down, but I'm gonna keep it closed. And then I'm just gonna open this up. And then now you just add all your glitter, sequins, whatever you want to fill in here. I've got some of the sequins for everything that is in the main catalog. Okay, let me open this without this stuff going flying. So I thought I would use some of this, and because that's kind of what I used to glue those sequins in place with some of these. So I'm going to pick up some more of these gold and silver. I think there's a little bit of white in here. So you just kind of fill it so it's not too overbearing. I think that could be good. Okay, and then I'm going to close this. I don't have sequins flying everywhere. And then I've got some retired, this is like old glitter. I'm just trying to use up stuff. So everybody's got glitter, you know, and you don't use it very often. So this is a great way of just kind of using up some glitter. So this is just some colored glitter I had in my stash. I'm just going to put a little bit in there. And I just kind of close it, give it a little shake and see how's it looking. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I also have in my stash, I had some of these like little iridescent, I think I got these at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's called Disco Party, but they're kind of fun little iridescent ones. So I'm going to pour some of this in. Let's see how we're looking. Yeah, I think that could be plenty. All right, so now we're going to close this up. Okay, so before I close it, what I have to make sure I'm looking at this correctly. Okay, so I need to have my flap. So this is where my adhesive is. So I'm going to take my card as it has the V, okay, and I'm going to place this so that this, you want to have the bag flush with your card. So like I said, I've got my V, so it's just closed up, and then this part is just going to come down. So I kind of give it a nice sharp crease. So then, as we can kind of watch it here, this would come down, and then this is going to be our easel. Okay, so have this up. All right, so what we want to do, that's flush. I'm just going to turn this over. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the envelope adhesive, and it's going to be now attached to the card, but I also still have to seal this here because this is still open. Okay, so this part has to get sealed still. And I originally, I think I just did and it's just because it's really strong. I'm gonna look here. How do I want to, because I want to do it a little bit different than what I had done before. Well, maybe I will just still stick with it. Okay, I'm going to use my double-sided, my tear-in tape, and I'm just going to do this so I can bring this over a little bit. Or maybe, yeah, maybe I should have taped it down. Okay, I think I will do this other tape. I think I'm just going to use normal tape because this will still be flexible enough when I fold it over. So I'm just going to do some normal tape. Just your Scotch tape. You can do the tear and tape. It's just a little bit stiffer. And sometimes it's harder to work with. I just found this is a little bit easier. Okay, so now this comes up and over. There we go. And then this would come down. There's that. Okay, so now that's our front. And then now, because here's that flap, this is where I like to take another sheet of either cardstock, or this is another sheet of that pattern paper, and I'm going to adhere this, excuse me, to the back, just to cover up this flap. Okay. So this is looking this way. Make sure I have my rainbows going the right side. Don't want it upside down. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we've got, this comes down, this flaps over, and then I thought I would add a few little clouds. So this is from, these are the little rainbow die or cloud dies, and I just used some of the pattern paper and I cut out 2. And then the cloud punch, what's nice was within this pattern paper is they've got one that's got a bunch of clouds that are the same size as the punch. So all you need to do is just punch out a cloud using your cloud punch. And then I'm just going to tape this down. So I'll kind of put one here. And then I thought I would do these little ones. We can just use little mini dimensional on these little ones. And then just kind of put those on either side. There's that. All right, and then for my front, I'm going to go ahead. I already die cut and this amazing, so I'm just going to use glue dots for this, if I can find them on my desk. I think I've got gremlins like running off with my stuff. No, I don't see them. Well, oh, here they are. Okay. So we'll just do, just because this is being attached to plastic, sometimes like the mono adhesive isn't going to be strong enough. So I just like to use the glue dots. They tend to hold everything in place really well. So we'll just put a few of these on. Let's see, maybe one there. All right. Okay, and that is the Trifold see-through shaker card. So super fun. Oh, before I forget, I have to add a little bit of Wink of Stella on this bottom rainbow. This just adds a little bit of glimmer. That's because we don't have enough glitter and sparkle on this card. Just kind of completes it. So super fun. And who's not ready for some rainbows? All right, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for some more tutorials over the next couple weeks, as I am going to be on vacation and I will be in the craft room. So I hope everybody, wishing you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and I will stamp with you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.